Welcome into the Alabama Football Report. The Crimson Tide win this one against Missouri 34-0 in a game where, let's just be honest, they should have gone out there and given up 0 points against Missouri in this game. You had their starting quarterback who was not, healthy for this game. He went out there and tried, Brady Cook, but ultimately ended up having to leave. I believe it was that second quarter that he had to leave that game. And then Drew Pine comes in, and he's just not a very good quarterback at the end of the day. But you go out there and you do your job. You do what you're supposed to do. And look, the offense had some ups and downs, but we'll talk about all of it on today's instant reaction video. But first, make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the Alabama Football Report. We just wrapped up our Alabama versus Missouri watch party. Had a lot of fun during that. Chopped it up with you guys in the chat. So appreciate you guys for joining us for that. If you did, if you did not, we'll be off next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks for that LSU game. So make sure you guys are subscribed. That's youtube.com/@RollTideTV. All right, takeaway number one here for Alabama against Missouri. The offense was pretty decent in the second half, but, man, that first half, there was just a lot of ups and downs there. Penalties really killed you again in, killing some of those drives. You're starting off behind the chains a lot. You just got to get better on that. But I will say the run game, it did really, really well for you today. Finally, we're able to get that going. Jalen Milroe in this game, 16 for 26, 215 yards, so still not the best game for him. And I'm going to be completely honest, if you guys were here during our watch party at halftime, I was ready to throw Ty Simpson in there because the offense only scored 13 points in the first half. You had to settle for field goals on 2 of those drives. Ended up finally getting a touchdown there as well. But, look, the offense just has to be better. It's not all on Jalen Milroe. He definitely missed some plays. One of those sacks that Caden Proctor gave up, somebody in the chat saying Jalen Milroe's got to feel that. Well, if you only got 2 seconds in the pocket, you're not really supposed to feel it with 2 seconds. Now, the other one where Elijah Pritchett got beat and, Jalen Milroe took that sack, from the front side, he's got to step up in the pocket. He's got to make a, play out of that. Definitely missed some throws. He missed one to Kobe Prentice that probably could have been a touchdown. 2 throws, though, were very good throws, went right through Ryan Williams' hands. So, like I said, a lot of ups and downs today in this game, but you finally were able to get Justice Haynes going again in this game. So that's a very, very positive thing for you. And then you also saw Richard Young come in there late in the game and bust off a really, really long run that I really, really wish he would have been able to, punch in for a touchdown. But he's a really big running back, and, it's hard to outrun some of those DBs at the end of the day. Jalen Miller also had 11 carries for 48 yards, 4.4 yards per carry with 2 touchdowns for him. So, look, really love what Alabama was able to do. Finally getting some of those guys, going, on the ground has definitely been something that we have been lacking. I thought the offensive line did a little bit better in some of those run block downs, but still, there's definitely room for improvement. I think Alabama does a lot better when they run to the outside versus right down the middle. But you know what? At the end of the day, you win this game. The offense puts up 34 points. They put up 21 in the second half. Could have, at the end of the game there, scored another garbage time touchdown, but they end up not doing that. So definitely some ups and downs from the offense. Hopefully, you get this bye week, you get a little bit healthier, whether that's Jaden Roberts, whether that's Jalen Milroe, any of those guys banged up. Hopefully they can come out in 2 weeks against LSU and really start to put it all together. So grade Alabama today against Missouri. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know at the pinned comment of today's video. I'm probably going to give them a B. I think the offense in the first half just was very lackluster, so not going to give them an A there, but I don't think you can really give them a C with how good the defense played today. So let me know what you guys think in the comments of today's video. Takeaway number 2 here. The defense absolutely played lights out, man. You could not have asked for anything more from the defense. They gave up 0 points in this game. The defense in the past 3 games have gotten in the past 3 games have gotten 10 takeaways. That is incredible. And Alabama today, they scored touchdowns on 2 of those 3 takeaways. So you were able to get 14 points off of 3 takeaways. One of the other ones you had to punt. But look, man, Bray Hubbard came out here, and we'll talk about him next on today's show. But he played really, really well. Malachi Moore had an interception. You also had an interception from Russaw as well. So great to see those guys eat. I thought the run game also was, the run defense anyways, was pretty good for you. At the end of the day, you give up 167 yards, which doesn't seem very great on the ground. But some of that came in that last drive of the game when they were going up against the twos and stuff like that. So I think overall, your defense played pretty good against the run. And look, your DBs played really, really good. I know, for the most part in that game, you had Drew Pine throw into these wide receivers, but you only gave up 72 yards through the air. You held Luther Burden to 3 receptions for 3 yards. A guy that's going to go for sure in the first round of the NFL draft this year. So, overall, I thought the defense played really, really well. Probably the best that they've played so far this season, maybe outside that first game of the season against Western Kentucky, where they also got a shutout in this game. But, man, you asked the defense to be able to keep you in this game, especially in that first half, and they absolutely did it just one after the other. Missouri today on third downs, 2 of 13 on third downs, 0 for 1 on fourth downs, only 239 total yards for Missouri in this game. So overall, the defense, they got 3 takeaways, and you were able to capitalize off of 2 of them. So overall, I think it was a very, very positive performance from the defense, and it was definitely something that you needed them to step up and get done this week against a very, very beat-up Missouri offense. Want to give a shout out to our sponsor today. That is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 different states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup active. And I'll tell you what, guys, I didn't win my Prize Picks today. I didn't win a single one of them, but you get the opportunity with the flex play where you don't have to win all of them. Unfortunately, I didn't get any of them. I went with the more than on Jalen Milroe passing yards. He was relatively close to that, but he did not get that at the end of the day. Only 215 passing yards for Jalen Milroe today. And then you had Ryan Williams only with 53 receiving yards. I went with the more than on both of those guys. Might not have been the best call, but you know what? It was worth it at the end of the day. I also had more than on Ashton Jeanty, 193 and a half rushing yards. That seems crazy, but he still had like 140 yards rushing or something like that. So that kid's absolutely phenomenal. But I did not win my Prize Pick selection this week, but at the end of the day, you guys can absolutely win your Prize Picks, whether that's with the power play or whether that's with the flex play. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even have to win your lineup to get the $50 bonus. Download Prize Picks app today and use promo code CLNS to get that $50 bonus after you play your first $5 lineup. That link will be in the comments section and the description of today's video. Prize Picks, run your game. Takeaway number 3 here. Look, man, Bray Hubbard's nice. He made a lot of decent plays for you today, even outside that interception. I'm going to try, let me see real quick if I can pull this up really, really fast. He came downhill a lot. He made a lot of nice plays. There was one on third down that I specifically remembered where, the receiver got about 9 yards on the play, and Bray Hubbard came down. Yeah, he was your number 2 tackler today with 7 tackles, 4 solo, had that 1 interception as well. So, you got Keon Sabb is going to be out for, a decent amount of time for you. So, seeing Bray Hubbard really go out there and eat as a second-year player is a very, very positive thing to see. And, look, going forward, I'm just really excited for Bray Hubbard. And I really hope, he just grows as a player and continues to be a real anchor at that safety spot. I talked a lot this week about hopefully he can be a guy that comes in here and really brings a spark for you on defense. Whether that, correlation leads to causation, I think the defense as a whole played a lot better than they have so far this season. But Bray Hubbard also had a very, very nice game for Alabama today. So what is your one-word reaction to Alabama's win today against Missouri? I'm going to go with solid. That's going to be my one-word reaction for today's game. But let me know yours in the comments section of today's video. Now, we did talk about this a little while, just a minute ago, but I think the run game looked really, really good today. Overall, you had 271 yards rushing the ball. You had Justice Haynes, 8 carries for 79 yards. Richard Young came in at the end of the game, had 63 yards on 3 carries. Jalen Milroe, 11 for 50. Jam Miller, 11 for 48. Kendrick Law, 1 for 21. Daniel Hill also got some run, and then Ty Simpson also had a 3-yard run as well. But look, overall, your offensive line, I think they do a lot better. And I said this a little while ago. I think when you're running outside, I think Alabama gets a pretty solid look. And I will say, too, that touchdown run from Justice Haynes was absolutely incredible. He got hit. Yeah, they had a safety come down or a linebacker, one or the other, come downfield and, try to lay the wood on Justice Haynes. He put his helmet down and absolutely trucked him, ended up bouncing outside and finishing that 35-yard touchdown run. Justice Haynes was running today with some force that he has not run with a lot so far this season. So I really, really loved seeing that from him. Jam Miller as well. And even Jalen Milroe at times. There was a drive there. I think it was the opening drive of the second half, if I'm not mistaken, where Jalen Milroe had like a 32-yard scramble. And then he had another scramble that would have made it 2nd and 1, but Justice Haynes had the holding call, which brought Alabama back to make it like 2nd and 19 or something like that. So overall, I think your running game looked a lot better today. Takeaway number 5, we finally really saw some good fire from Kalen DeBoer. And don't misread that. It's not fire, Kalen DeBoer. It's fire from Kalen DeBoer. And even, he kind of got into the referees a little bit, like earlier in that first half, which love seeing that. Love seeing him going out there and, really, really being fired up for your players out there. But even at the end of the game, Miles McVay, I don't know what he did wrong, but Kalen DeBoer was really, really pissed off at Miles McVay for something, was getting in his face, yelling and screaming. So, everybody out there that's saying Kalen DeBoer doesn't have the, fire to be Alabama's head coach, I don't think that's the case at all. I think it's more of a, he does it when he thinks he needs to do it. And I think, at times he definitely showed you today that he was able to do that. So, you got a lot of fire from Kalen DeBoer today, and that was also something very, very positive to see. So let me know in the comments section, guys, who do you think gets the game ball? Is it the defense overall? Is it Bray Hubbard for coming in here and getting an interception in his first start for Alabama? Is it Malachi Moore? Is it this defensive line? I think defensively, you got a lot of guys you could give it to. Maybe even offensively, you got a few guys you could give it to as well. Alabama also had a lot of guys get in the receiving game. Jeremy Bernard had 82 yards. Ryan Williams had 53 yards as well. So, there's a lot of guys I think you could give the game ball to today, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. Last thing before we get out of here, though, Alabama did have an injury in this game. I also saw Jalen Mbakwe went down, but I didn't make a graphic for him because I honestly didn't see whether he came back in the game or not. So we'll see. He left late in that second quarter with about 10 seconds or so remaining, I believe. So we'll see what happens with Jalen Mbakwe. But Cole Adams, man, he's been banged up a lot this year. Hurt his arm earlier in the season during that South Florida game. Kalen DeBoer saying it is a lower extremity injury. It looked like when he got up off the field, it looked like an ankle issue. So we'll see if it's an ankle, if it's a foot, if it's like a toe or, anything like. He just said lower extremity. And, they're still going to have to do some, further testing and everything like that. But he also did say it looks like something that's going to be, relatively significant. Maybe not out for the season, but might be out for some time, so we'll see what happens there. And it's also very significant, not just in the receiving room, but also those punt returns, because Jalen Mbakwe went out there, and I think he had like 2 or 3 punts that he tried to receive. One of them he bobbled a lot, so obviously you don't like seeing that. But then, Jalen Mbakwe went out in the game as well. Then they put Ryan Williams in there at punt return. So a lot of moving parts. It's not just that wide receiving core that, this might hinder a little bit. Also going to be that punt return spot. We'll definitely keep an eye and an ear out, what kind of significant injury this is going to be for Cole Adams.